and it's weird how crazy they get. I mean, there are true stories, outlandish stories about me, but one that I'm actually a cult leader.
Yep,
and
I
that
heard
everyone at Aisle 9, like, literally as if I've got, like, they call it the Clemmer Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And everybody's on the Clemmer Kool-Aid, to the point. But it's like, it's a real thing that's talked about. And even so, if someone joins my team and starts to actually get happy in life, find some joy,
Kool-Aid's
fulfillment,
working.
start getting successful, become a better tattoo artist,
Right.
and instead of, they blame it all on the Clemmer Kool-Aid. It couldn't have been this man's hard work. It couldn't have been all the blood, sweat, and tears for him to press in and to be able to go and win that trophy. No,
Right.
I just slipped him some of my magic drink. You know what I'm saying?
Or a fun one is that we put a gun to clients' heads and make them pay these outlandish rates.
That's right.
And
Or we tricked them. Even though there's 100 shops around us, there's a shop literally next door to us that we'll even tell them you could go there and pay a fraction of our prices. We'll be the first to say we're premium. We're not the cheapest in town. Like, we let them know all on the front end, but the haters act like we tie them down, put a gun to their head, tattoo them, and make them pay us triple.
You tricked me. You tricked me into this beautiful fucking tattoo. God, it's beautiful, but you tricked me.
then they'll use us as a martyr and be like, well, sorry guys, we gotta up our rates because fucking Aisle 9 is fucking ruining the game for us.
They talk shit, and don't you know they all fucking raise their prices.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
No shit. But yeah, so how do we respond?
Yeah.
We
What's
hear
the best
things-
strategy here?
I'll tell you, here's what I've learned along the way, and I don't know it's the best strategy yet, but here is what I've learned along the way. But before I get to that, we've all heard things like, hey, if you got haters, that means you're doing something right. Or we hear things like, man, until you get haters, you ain't doing it right. Like, that's
Right.
a good sign. And that shit sounds cool until it happens.
And I mean,
right?
it is factual, but you are right.
Yeah,
When it
'cause-
happens, it fucking hurts.
Yeah,
it does.
and that's what's different because I could be hated on from people from my old sins of when I used to like fucking not operate great, right? But today we got new haters, and it doesn't have nothing to do with if I tattooed you the last decade. Because they say things. The more you rise, the more successful you become. In our scenario, even mine. I make videos all the time. We vulnerably put ourselves out there. This podcast
Right.
every week. The more you put yourself out there to the world, there's going to be more people that is going to judge. And so it does come with the territory,
Which we're
And it's
starting to get now.
totally, and
Yeah.
it still hurts.
Right.
To a degree.
Yeah.
Now, there's growth in that. It doesn't take me out like it used to, right?
what may have affected me the last 2 months now maybe only bother me a week or a couple hours.
Yeah, cool.
You know?
Yeah, and so now, so here's how we respond. And we have, this is the house, the value. I'm still trying to find a word better than rule, but for lack of better terms, it's the house rule at our house to not respond at all, to not engage at all, to not give the very thing that you don't agree with any power.
Don't feed the trolls.
Come on. The truth needs no defense. Now, in the moment, it sure seems like it needs defended. Those are lies. That ain't true. Because we got friends, clients that will try and stick up for us.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All the people who do know me for real, that gets them mad. They get mother hens for us. And I even tell everybody, the truth needs no defense. Please do not even patronize. Do not even give them anything. And so, and other haters in town will tag us, whatever. And that's hard to do because sometimes it's tempting. And I don't even mean it's tempting to respond back with hate or defense like, fuck you guys, nah, right? Here's one thing I have done every time, whether I'm guilty of this or whatever. So we never respond back, and it's always online, so no one's comment or nothing, right? But what I will do every time, Josh, is directly contact the hater and the shop owner who's smearing my name and invite him out to dinner, like one-on-one, and say and I honor them when I do it. Like, I'm not even coming with defense. I'll say things like, hey man, I just wanted to let you know you've been in the game longer than me. I've always looked up to you and respected you. And man, and compared to you, I'm a new shop owner in the city, and I'm not above reproach. and I would love to sit down. If you have true concerns about how we are operating from one shop owner to another, let's meet, break bread together. The bar, lunch, dinner, coffee, whatever you want, it's on me. Anyone can sit down and talk shit about anybody. But if you have real concerns, are you willing to sit down and talk with me? Again, I'm not above reproach, right? Going straight to the source to try and build a relationship. And this isn't online for everyone to watch and eat popcorn. Guess how many of my haters are willing to meet me in person and break bread together?
I'm going to guess 0.
0.
Yeah.
0. And so then I have to let it go there. But they'll always know, like, the man they were hating on literally reached out to them that day and invited them out to dinner, right? And to me, that's what crosses over into coward land. It's to me, you're such a coward, you're going to spread lies about me and get your whole shop in on it, act like you're concerned, but I'll come straight to you right now and sit down and have a real authentic conversation, and you're not. To me, it just blows my mind. But anyways, we had to let it go. In the meantime, we still don't respond. Well, then what? I believe, and I'll just say this, like, the truth needs no defense. For lack of labels, God will fight your battles for you if you fucking don't try and be God in your own life and take control and fight it yourself. And so the reason why I play hands off and I have to deal with myself to not let that take me out or hurt me, the truth needs no defense. And after I've done introspection, Josh, to make sure that none of this is true, that, or the thing, after I'm done looking at me and making sure, right, I can rest easy knowing my authenticity, knowing the mission, knowing my heart, and knowing that the real knows my heart, the truth knows my heart, God knows my heart, and will fight my battles for me if I stay out of it. And it, even though it takes sometimes years, it fucking happens every time. And there were so many times I was so tempted just to do something, to defend and fight the battle myself, right? But I wasn't released to, I wasn't allowed. And every time I was tempted to, my inner voice is just like, nope, get back to your mission. Don't worry about that, And the rest is fucking up to the universe, But I have noticed over time, and you and I have noticed this together, today, some of our biggest fans, brothers, best friends, were once our biggest trolls. And other than God fighting my battle for me, the only thing more powerful than our actions, whatever video we was doing that made us get hated on, was how we reacted, right? And so you already know most times we don't react at all. But like you remember one time you and I used to do Facebook Lives together all the time. And there was a dude that decided, he followed us both. He's a tattooer in California, and he would jump on and troll us, right? But how we responded to him was with love every time, not hating back, and it was consistent. So consistent that over time, this dude decided to change his mind about us because he didn't really know us. But how we treated him when he hated us and trolled on us was more powerful to eventually he crossed over and decided to become a raving fan and apologize to us both and is a huge fan to this day, right? And that's what I mean why God fought that battle for me. We didn't do shit. And the only time we did, we reacted in love and acceptance, right? And so even though it takes time, some of them can be brought around, My own mentor, who we've had on the show multiple times, years ago when him and I parted ways, it wasn't pretty. And he made me his enemy that day, I feel like he wanted me dead, if not personally, my career, And it broke my heart, and I'd always prayed that the relationship would be restored. It took a decade. But now not only is the relationship be restored, and it was two men coming together and saying basically like, brother, I'm sorry, right? And now, not only are we brothers again, not only is the relationship be restored, but now we're having talks of what's life look like together now? What could we build together now? Not to mention, he just joined TBM and is at this table in the flesh with us, right? Mm-hmm. And what I'm getting at, what is restorative restoration and that shit? And that was different because we actually had a real relationship. He wasn't all like what I call haters, because to me, the haters are people that don't know me and they're hating. But this was a real brother. But what I'm getting at is when we're consistent and stay true to ourselves and you speak your own truth, no matter what the world has to say, and if you stay consistent, people will come around, even if they quit hating, right?
That experiences and having that tangible evidence is important because, like...
Well, and you know what else happened last week is one of the biggest shop owners and haters of us to this day, and I think it's safe to say this dude still hates me, but he wrote me an apology on my DM and Instagram this week, you know? And he's the shop owner that hates my guts, that wouldn't go out to dinner with me and does a smear campaign on us in our shop every 4 to 6 months for the past 3 years. The only reason I remember that is the first one came out when my daughter was being born. I was in the hospital trying not to let this ruin my day. Well, she's 3 now, and he's been dropping them ever since. But just this week, he wrote me a DM on Facebook and apologized and said from here on out, he will keep his mouth shut and stay in his lane and won't say anything about me without contacting me first. And the last words was olive branch.
Wow.
Right? And I swear this dude's gone so far out of his way to try and destroy us in his own shop. But what happened differently? Now, maybe something happened in his world. I don't know for sure. Alls I know is we never engaged, never responded. And after years, for whatever reason, again, I feel like God fought my battle for me and got that man to send me an apology out of the fucking blue. And again, that just blew my mind. And it made me, Josh, be glad that I didn't react every time I wanted to, because it would have probably robbed the restoration that was taking place and being orchestrated unbeknownst to me.
It would have just snowballed into this giant fucking monster.
That's right.